If you do not neutralize it, this small guard camp is likely to compromise your mission. A stealthy approach on the camp, followed by the setting up of crossfires, is advised. Infiltrate the airbase via the southeastern canyon. Avoid the heavily guarded main gate. Use C4 charges to destroy the SAM sites or the power generator. Locate the airbase mainframe room and remove any information regarding the position of the Iraqi SCUD launchers in northern Iraq. To disrupt Iraqi aircraft operations, destroy the MiG fighter planes and the base's fuel dump. Exit the base for helicopter extraction.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another installment of Conflict Desert Storm. You're joined with me, Barnsley again, and now we're looking a lot better. We have the full contingent of our squad. We finally have Jones in this team. This is the full team. Bradley, the team leader, Foley, the sniper, Connors, the heavy weapons expert, and Jones, our demo technician. Now, just with everyone else, we're going to do a run through of what Jones carries. Jones carries an MP5 that is suppressed. Now this is fantastic. It's full auto, single shot, or burst fire. I generally use it in full auto all the time, but it's great. The ultimate stealth weapon for the majority of the squad for the majority of the game. It's short to medium range. It's not very effective at long range at all, which is the nature of being a suppressed submachine gun. But it is brilliant. It carries tons of ammunition, 14 spare magazines, and his other equipment, he has lots. Got a couple frag grenades, a couple smoke grenades, just like the usual, but instead of a pistol, he carries a combat shotgun. He's got a Remington 870 pump action combat shotgun. This thing's class. If you need to go around any corners or something, it's great to have this weapon out. Again, I usually just use his primary weapon, which is the MP5, and this is a fantastic backup. By the way, that's not 28 spare magazines worth, that is actually 28 spare shells, so he's got 35 in total. Again, he's got a backup combat knife. Since he's our demo tech, he has C4 plastic explosive, and he's also got anti-tank mines. Now, with skill, with the C4 and anti-tank mines, he's 3 stars currently, so he will become 4 stars with that once he gets experienced. The more skill you have, the faster you plant these weapons. These always do full damage to everything. If you plant it beside a tank, whether you're Jones or Foley with no experience, it doesn't matter. It'll always blow up a tank. Either the tank mine or the C4 always blows up any vehicle in the game in one go. As long as you're close enough, as long as you plant the device close enough, or if you know the pathing of an enemy tank, you can plant the tank mine in the way, and the tank will drive over it and it'll blow up. Or if you've ran out of C4, you can just run a character over, suicide himself by planting the mine beside the tank and blowing it up. Then you can go and res him a med pack. We now have night vision goggles, which are useful in this mission. Not right now, of course, because it's far too green, but this mission does get dark. It turns to night very quickly, and we do a lot of night fighting. And there's also a C4 detonator. Whoever's holding this will detonate any C4 anywhere in the map. But what I like to do is I like to dish out the C4 to some different characters. I generally like to give 2 to Foley and 2 to Bradley, so that it's not just Jones carrying all the C4, and I leave Connors without it. So Connors, by the way, fully kitted out. He, again, same sort of setup that you had in the last mission, except he now also has his night vision goggles. Foley is the exact same, except he's got night vision goggles as well, and same goes for Bradley, he's got his night vision goggles too. So let's play as Jones to start off with. Everyone's already on fire at will, and we're going to run along this area. There's some little goats along this passage. Now, there is a farmer here that will alert Iraqi forces to your presence. You can kill him. I choose not to. I actually just let him go. The first thing we're going to do, if we look at our mission objectives, is to destroy this camp. And then we're going to destroy the camp. We're going to work our way along here. The main entrance right here to the camp, where there was 2 heavy machine gun nests. Now you cannot actually get into the camp that way. That is where you exit and extract. You actually run around this far side here, and then you fight all the enemies in this camp. Now this is actually quite a difficult mission just due to the massive volume of enemies that you fight. I'll keep the guys far away, because there's two guys that walk along here. I was kind of worried that the civilian would be taken out there. Excellent. So we've done our work there. Now there is a machine gun nest. If we use our little strategy, we can see it right there. Thankfully, his accuracy is terrible, and we have him, and we have his pal as well. So we'll take the guys up. A good strategy with this camp is it spawns a lot of enemies, so we want to bum rush it. We want to get there as quickly as possible. I think we might as well just use Jones and then rush the camp. Enemies will spawn for ages in this camp, and there's lots of them, just as we can see right there. But thankfully, Jones is fantastic. Jones, by the way, he's similar to Bradley in that he moves at medium speed and has medium health. Now, enemies are going to keep coming out this little area here. So we're going to destroy this camp. We've destroyed the camp successfully. Excellent. Absolutely fantastic. We've done that very quickly. Enemies would have kept coming through this passage if we allowed them to. And this guy's just going to sit in this camp and cower in fear and do whatever he wants. So that's fair enough. You do you, bro. We're going to cross this road now, but first things first, we're going to go to Bradley, because a Ural truck comes around the corner. And it does drop enemies off. And we don't want to fight the enemies, we might as well blow them up. Or actually, we'll do what Connors does best, and we'll just pop him on this machine gun turret. Because if you move up to sort of this corner, it will come around the corner. Truck comes around the corner, and we'll just blow it up. Excellent. No messing around at all. And by the way, we did pick up a weapon just there, and it's an RPK. RPK-74, it's literally the light machine gun version of an AK-47, pretty much. So Connors is a specialist at this, and it is one of my favourite weapons in the game. It pretty much functions the exact same way as the M60, except it's got a shorter reload speed, much less of a magazine. It's more like an assault rifle, but Connors specialises in it. But it's a fantastic weapon, and it just sounds great. Come up to this corner, there's no enemies around this corner, but around the next one there is, and it's a great opportunity for Jones to pick up a stealth kill to really highlight how good the MP5 is. So we're just going to do that. We're going to hug this corner a little bit. And we should see an enemy just around this corner. Going to wait for him to walk along a little bit because he's in the line of sight of enemies to the left. It should be grand now. Okay, didn't quite pick up a stealth kill because we didn't kill him stealthily on the first bullet, which is the important part. Now, round the corner to the left here is the front entrance to the enemy encampment. What we're going to do here is just position Connors down here, and we're going to use Foley to pick off all the enemies with a sniper rifle. There are two machine gun nests, we're just going to get Foley to pop them in the face. So that is one guy there, and one machine gun nest, two machine gun nests. Excellent. Very well done, nice and easily. The alarm's been raised, that is not a worry. The alarm always gets raised anyway. We'll use Connors just now because it just sounds fantastic with the RPK. It doesn't have much ammunition, by the way. It's only got 2 spare magazines, and Connors flies through this ammo. Now, you cannot get into the camp through that main door. We leave through the main door. Just checking here, see if there's any weapons. I don't believe there are any weapons in any of these machine gun nests, but it's always nice to check, because they would be useless otherwise. Yep, excellent. So, we're just going to frag this Ural truck. Everyone's out of the explosion radius, so we're fine. And how did it live? Oh my god. I shouldn't live that one. No, it did not. Excellent. So, we'll lead out for his Connors. Why not? Get a little taste of the RPK for him. But we've cleared the camp. Objective 1 has been completed. Now we need to destroy SAM sites, which are surface-to-air missiles. We need to take some data. We need to disrupt their fighter jets and destroy the fuel depot. And then we need to get out of there. But this mission is quite difficult, because you lose visibility quickly, and there's lots of enemies attacking from multiple flanks. So the important thing is to set up a firing line. You don't want to be flanked ever. That's a key recipe of getting killed, getting flanked, getting hit by explosives. So the general idea is we're going to set up the team so that they're reasonably spaced out from each other. Let's go start firing at him. Here we are, fully took him out. And there's our first example of a surface-to-air missile. Now, do not need to C4 these. I wouldn't bother wasting your C4, because there's also an armory, which really regroups you, so you're not tight for ammunition at all in this mission. So you might as well use Foley and just shoot the tip of it a couple of times. There you go, 3 times, and that went down. You can do the same with literally any weapon, any firearm will bring down the SCUD missiles, or just a regular grenade, or Bradley's rifle grenade. Also, stay away from this right hand side. If you fall down there, you will die, and there's no way of getting that soldier back. You would either have to restart the mission or continue on without them, which is either way not fun. There we are. So we're going to get the guys up to this position here, because there's lots of enemies about. And Foley just took some big damage there. I'm going to lie Foley down on the runway. It's all to do with spacing. I want to make sure that the guys are reasonably well spaced out from each other. And Connors just took a big hit. Now there are a lot of enemies, and enemies are, well, they will spawn for a long time. So I want to go around and close off their spawns. What I'm going to do is take Bradley and work my way around the left, and have Connors and Foley take out those enemies to the front. Just check if this door opens. It doesn't, that's fine. But I generally don't like having my guys go along on their own. And this here, it says you can C4 it. You don't need to C4 it at all. There we go. Took him out with an MP5 from about 300 meters away. That must be a world record or something. We're actually going to rush over there and close off that spawn. That door's open, so that's where all those enemies are coming from. And we don't want any more to come out of there, because it's just a waste of ammo. They're putting pressure on our guys. We'll quickly try and rush across here, see if there's any enemies left in here. No, we're grand. There's an AK-47 in here with spare mags and some medkits, which is very useful for the team. But pretty much we're going to keep Foley and Connors sitting back. Took a light tap from that guy in that tower. There's 3 or 4 watchtowers in this area. But the most important thing we're going to do now is just close off the enemy spawns. Don't want any more enemies disrupting us, and they come from quite a lot of different areas. So I'm going to have Bradley camp here. I'm going to have Jones plant the C4 in here. Just heal up again. This area is actually a reasonably large area, so we want to make sure we're nice and safe. Explosives have been planted, so we'll get Jones to follow me. We'll use Bradley's rifle and just destroy that. Only took half a magazine. We're a safe enough distance away that that's not going to harm us. And we're going to get Bradley and Jones to go around this corner, because quite a few enemies come around there. Again, important part of this game is about closing off enemy spawns. So we just want to make sure we go around here nice and carefully. And you can see enemies came from this door here. This wasn't open previously, and they just spawned right on us actually. Oh god. And as we're here, there's another AK-47 with some mags. I'm going to give this to for Bradley to carry, because you can see he's very low on ammunition. Oh, and Connors and Foley are in a bit of trouble. So it's now perfect time to turn on our night vision goggles, or MVGs. Not to be confused with MVG, Michael Van Gerwen, darts champion. We're going to close off this spawn around this corner because we saw a few more enemies around here, and there are not supposed to be many enemies around here. I want to make sure this area is nice and clear, then we'll go back and help Connors, because there should only be 1 or 2 more areas where enemies are likely to come from. Okay, I believe we've closed off this spawn. Excellent, so we will get Jones and Bradley to come back round. And as you can see, Foley and Connors went through a lot of ammo. Connors had 9 spare magazines, or sort of drums, essentially, or belts with this, with M60. So he went through about 400 rounds, which is a lot. And lots of enemies came through this door as well. So there's 3 or 4 of these barracks, essentially, for enemies to come through. We're just going to give this ammunition to Bradley. But the important thing is getting into these buildings, closing this area off, and stopping the enemy from just overcrowding you with raw numbers throughout the missions. Now there are 2 aircraft hangars. We have closed off the infantry spawning areas, but we're now going to destroy the rest of the sand turrets that we can. So there's one right here, 1 sand missile, sorry. So that's one there. There's another one on this building just over here. There we go. So the surface to air missiles have been destroyed, which is absolutely fantastic. We have destroyed the communications array. Now we're going to actually play as Jones. And we are going to go around and deal with this tower. But first things first, we're going to deal with this tower first. We're going to have this door open on us. This is the way in. I want to make sure everyone's at good HP. I've got a lot of spare magazine, a lot of spare medkits, so... Okay, I don't know where that came from. There is a guy up there.
Inbound for strike, over.
There we go. Since we destroyed those SAMs, that aircraft's going to come in, and that aircraft's actually under attack from the enemies in that air traffic control tower. So we're just going to say no to that. There we go.
Target lock acquired. Box 2.
Now, as you can see, our helicopter is going to cause a bit of trouble. Or it's just going to sit there. That's also fine, I guess. But we're going to have Foley and Connors sit outside, and we're going to attack this area with Jones and Bradley. Now, this place is reasonably lit up, so we can go with our NVGs not on. Now there is an enemy in the left here. It's just a small box room, but he is there. We can use our right-hand advantage to see the enemy there. And that is not how you aim in this game. That was a terrible, terrible way of taking that enemy out. Now, carefully peek around our corners. No enemy there. There is an enemy in that room right behind me. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get Bradley to face this side, kill any guys that come around this way, while Jones clears up the rest of this room. Which, thankfully he was facing away. Because he would have just turned around and killed Bradley. Now, same thing, we're just going to carefully peek around corners. Corners are the most dangerous thing that you can deal with. There we go. Nice and cleared out. We've cleared up this barracks section. And now Jones is running very low on his MP5 ammo. So again, when we move up in this game, it's sort of like a game of leapfrog. You move up, a guy at a time. You want to make sure your entrances are covered. You don't want to get caught off guard, almost like that. So I'll play as Bradley now. I'll have Jones cover that hallway. Now, in this room here that I'm looking at, there are 2 enemies, so this is actually a more difficult room. Now, they definitely heard that. go, that's one. Okay, there was only one. Even better. Now what about this room? Excellent. Now we're going to take that information, that floppy disk drive. We're going to go back as Jones, and we're going to clear out the rest of this tower. Now, if my grenade launchers didn't get him, then there'll still be one guy up in this tower. It looks like we got him. And there's an Armory key card right there. I don't know what that helicopter's still waiting for. But we will swap back over and we'll play as Foley now. We're going to raid the Armory. So this isn't just in case your guys start getting low on ammunition. You don't have to go into the Armory. You don't have to go into it at all. And it's locked, but we're going to wait on Bradley and Jones coming back. Just got to turn on our goggles again just because it's difficult to see. But this Armory is fantastic. We still need Jones. There we are. Jones has the key card himself, so he's the one that has to open it. Now there is one guy right there, but just in here, there's a med kit. We'll get his shotgun out just for this Armory door here. There isn't another enemy around this corner. Now we're nice and safe. Just in case there's a guy in here, I don't believe there is, but no better opportunity to use a shotgun rather than point blank range. No, perfect. So in here, you've got spare AKs and you've got a Dragunov. I'll take the AKs and the Dragunov, but it's okay. We're near enough to end the mission anyway. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are no tanks in this mission, but if you look at our objective, we need to disrupt. Disrupt means this one here and this one here are the aircraft hangars. So pretty much we're going to open the hangar doors and then we're going to blow them up with a rocket launcher from corners. So we want to make sure our guys are reasonably far away because there's quite a few explosives into these hangars. The hangars are pretty much identical to each other, but it's always better to err on the side of caution with explosives in this game. So right now we're just going to set the guys when they're reasonably far away. I'll just swap over Jones to the AK and we're going to equip the law. We're going to open this door. We're going to walk to the left and blow that up and blow up Connor's as well. It's okay though because Connor's done a good job. He done a very good job in fact. So, as you can see here, everything's been blown up, which is great. Connors, you've done a fantastic job. And now Connors and Jones are going to go around to this hangar, do the exact same thing, maybe back off first and throw a grenade instead, just so Connors doesn't die again. It's very rare that I see that helicopter staying there. I think it stayed there because of the enemy in the tower that was actually shooting at it, which is very strange. The helicopter usually doesn't sit there and chill for so long. So, I'll sit back here. As you can see on the character model as well, they're actually wearing their night vision goggles. Right there, Jones has his goggles on, which is a nice little touch. So what we're going to do this time is the exact same, except we're going to take a step back. Step back, crouch and fire. There we go. That's all objectives completed. We'll swap back over to Bradley, and now we just need to run through this door. This takes us to that encampment where there was 2 machine gun nests and that Ural truck that we destroyed earlier, and that is the mission. We managed to close off all those enemy spawns, destroy those SAM turrets, collect all the data. Just press, gives you options. Press here, press R, and it'll open this door. Whole team's just arrived. Obviously, Connor's arrived later than Jones because he is fat and slow. And here's our friendly Chinook, signifying the end of our mission. So, a nice easy mission. Well, it's easy in terms of there are no tanks to fight. Difficult in terms of there's about 1 million infantry, which are arguably more difficult than tanks because tanks don't move. So, fantastic, mission successful. Bradley's now a veteran already. That means I need to start using other characters.
Medal awarded.
Now, Connors has a medal awarded as well. Skill increase. Fantastic. No promotion though, still a corporal. He's very close to the next level, so is Bradley, and Jones isn't because Jones has done less missions. But Bradley, already a veteran experience. Your experience, by the way, I'm not 100% sure what it does, but I'm guessing it provides greater health. I cannot guarantee that though. But Foley, Connors and Jones all regular level. So we're actually going to focus on using Jones a little bit more in the future. And as you can see there, the characters are pictured with whatever weapon they last had equipped. So that's why Jones and Bradley have AKs equipped. And Foley's got his PSG and Connors has his M60. But again guys, thanks for watching. It's been Barnsey and it's been very good. See you in the next episode, thank you.